Hi, fam. When you're here, we're all fam. First, I want to say happy Thanksgiving week. It's a real holiday and no bad things happened at all, and we're not at all to blame. Everyone's really happy about it. So I hope you're having fun. For real, write down or try and record, if you can, every crazy fucking thing a family member who's MAGA says, okay? Or fuck it. If they're crazy and liberal, let me hear that shit too. Free healthcare? Crazy. I'm here solo today because we just got back from New York. I still haven't unpacked. I'm really difficult to live with. And it's holiday week, so Grant is slammed because he has 4 kids. I told him that was a terrible idea. So I put together a little compilation, a little Thanksgiving compilation. It has nothing to do with Thanksgiving. It's just like the timing of it. And I just highlighted a few moments from episodes, I think 5, 6, and 7. So it's an early days. And you can tell I do not know how much longer I'm going to have to do it. And so I don't confuse you. I've included some angel choir sounds between each clip. So you'll know that, oh, we're in a new conversation or we're in a new episode. And it sounds like this. But that was too slow, so I sped it up by 400%. So this is what you're going to hear. See? New clip, new you. It's so easy. All right, we will be back next week. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving and the holidays and the such as. And remember, you probably can. You probably can do it. Da, 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 da. Hello. Welcome to Twinnuendo. I'm Drew, the gay one. Did I fuck it up again?
You did it again.
Fuck. What am I supposed to say?
Just say
I'm
you're
Drew
gay.
And I'm gay. Okay, sorry. I've had to deny myself for so long.
Maybe you're not gay anymore.
Okay, hang on. Hi. I'm Drew, and I'm gay. I did it.
And I'm Grant, and I'm not. We did it. That took
No more
a lot.
takes.
No one's gonna see it, but that was a lot of takes.
My mother-in-law's in town. You probably love your
You
mother-in-law.
probably love your mother.
My mother-in-law's in town. She's actually in the room right now. So if I'm
Is she
not
really?
saying what I actually want to say, that's the reason. She says that she's not listening, but I know she's listening. I can tell because her farts have stopped. But we went to the Hollywood Bowl to see Tchaikovsky, to do the LA Philharmonic or whatever, the orchestra. And they did Tchaikovsky. You know the da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, boom, boom. That's Tchaikovsky. And they did it.
You don't
with,
have to. I mean,
they did it with fireworks.
I listened to
over
Creed
the Hollywood
and I listened
Bowl.
to Tchaikovsky.
They did it with fireworks over the Hollywood Bowl, like that went in time. It was amazing. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But back to today. Nas last week, okay? And then today we went to the Santa Monica's Farmers Market, and my mother-in-law's in town. Did I forget to tell you? And
You love her.
We're walking down. This guy passes, like Curtis is talking about, I don't know, vegetables. And this guy walks right past
always
us.
does.
And I was like, I think that was a Beastie Boy. It was just this like little older man with like a little cart, and
But he
like,
had a real
pushed
beastie energy to him.
I could tell that he could spit a rhyme or two. And Beastie Boys is a big Curtis thing. Curtis loves the Beastie Boys.
He loved
and
He admitted.
He loved the Beastie Boys.
He loved the Beastie
anyway,
Boys.
he walks right past, but Curtis didn't say anything. So I was like, maybe that's not him. Plus, I thought he was taller. Like, probably wasn't him. And I was like, no, if I don't tell Curtis I think it might be him and it isn't, I'll regret it. And so I said, Curtis, I says to my husband, I says this, I says Curtis, I says Curtis.
You says.
That was a Beastie Boy. And he said, what? And I said, that man was a Beastie. He's a Beastie man now. But he was a Beastie Boy. And Curtis went chasing down. It was him. I saw
That's
a Beastie
cool.
Boy. So anyway,
did
Curtis
he take a picture? What did he do? He just fist bumped?
Well, he just said, okay. We've had this conversation before, but like, you know, in LA, you run into celebrities, so you don't really approach celebrities for the most part.
Oh, here we go.
But
I live in LA. I see celebrities all the time, and it's no big deal to me
you
anymore.
see Joey Fatone.
I do see Joey Fatone. He lives here. I do see
There you
that
go.
guy.
That's incredible. And I would never pretend
It really is.
that I
mean,
see him.
You don't need anybody else.
Not when you got the Fatone. So usually in LA, you know, as a local, we just don't talk to celebrities. We let people just kind of like live their lives. But if you see like someone that has meant so much to you your entire life, you're gonna say hi. And Curtis is super chill, and he's super cool, and he had a tote bag filled with vegetables, so he looked very chill.
Yeah.
And he was
That
just
is
like,
the
hey,
chillest way to look.
he actually called him by his first name, which I think startled him. Instead of like, hey, you're the Beastie Boy, he was like, hey, Mike. And so the guy turned around and Curtis was just like, hey, man, just wanted to say hi. Like, your music means so much to me. And he was like, oh, okay.
That was it?
Mm-hmm. And then Curtis was like, all right, have a great day. Just want to say hi, whatever. But that's why we don't say hi to celebrities in LA. But I'm so happy he said hi.
That's
a big deal.
I have an alternative story to that
Medicine.
that goes against what you just said, which is when I landed in LA, I saw Derek Waters.
With a dream and a cardigan.
And a cardigan. I saw Derek Waters from Drunk History that I watch with my children. They love it.
Guy. The
guy
one who does it. Okay.
Yeah. And so he was on my plane. He was coming back from Disney World. We were at the carousel and I was like, I'm going to say something because my kids are excited. Like I texted them and said, hey, he's on my plane. And they're like, you got to get a picture with him. So I was like, I just said, Derek.
Do you have a group chat with your kids?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's
like everybody? There's a family chat?
Yeah.
Do they have a group chat without you?
Oh, no. No.
Can you read their messages?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting.
I had a whole dad speech about the tension between security, the trade-offs of security and freedom. And for security, we trade certain freedoms. And so I'm like,
we have to have guns.
You want this phone, which is great, but it also gives people who aren't great access to you. And so to give you security, I got to take away some of that freedom. So you can't keep secrets on there. Anyway, I told the kid, so I said, Derek, and he did the same thing. He was like, like he looked at me like, do I know you? And I just said, hey man, your show means so much to me, Drunk History. I watch it with my kids. I texted them when I saw you on the plane, and they're like, you gotta say something to him. And he could not have been nicer. And he kept doing this. He kept going, oh yes, thank you.
The praying hands.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
That's
like
Curtis's
I was like
go-to move when it's when he's bowing after a play. He puts his hands together and he's like,
he was so kind
actor.
and so genuine and so sweet. And he kept he did that thing. I'm sure you've had this with celebrities before, where you think like they're just trying to get out of the conversation, so you keep giving them outs. Like I kept giving him outs, so I was like, I just had to say something, and he was like, oh, so where are you coming from? Like just that extra 30 seconds. Yeah. I was like,
it's so nice.
It's so nice.
But you saw him.
Took a
you
picture
saw him
with
before you got on the plane, and you didn't approach
Yes.
him until baggage check, which I think is really nice.
I'd never really cared when I see celebrities. If I ever saw, usually it was sportsmen. It was people you don't know. But when I would see sportsmen, like in Memphis, I'd see Grizzlies players and stuff. I would just yell at them from a distance. I just wanted them to turn their head and look at me, and that was all I wanted. So I've never really cared. But when I started talking to you, you made me think about like, oh yeah, if there is someone I would like to meet, I've got to find the right moment. Like I can't just bust up their dinner or whatever. So they were like trying to find the gate. That's not the time.
I actually did get pushed
made
away.
Me think about it. By who?
I didn't have to give them an out. Their mom pushed me out this morning. We were on our way to the farmer's market. Okay,
This morning?
It's like 9 a.m. I don't know what time we left. Anyway, but it's early in the morning, right? And we're at a stoplight, and I see this little funny faggot TikToker that I love, like walking by with his mom. And he's so funny. I don't remember his name or anything about him. I just know he does skits where he's like a Southern mom, and he's selling, like he's in an MLM, and his kids are named Bailey Grace. Anyway, but I just think he's so funny. I know what a thrill I get as someone on TikTok and internet, like faux celebrities, if you will. I get such a thrill. So my first thought was like, let me scream hello. Like, let me scream I love you, because I know it'll make his day. Come on. Like, if it doesn't make your day, you're in the wrong business.
Yeah, why are you on TikTok if you don't want to connect with people?
If you don't want people screaming at you from the road. Yeah. So anyway, so I roll my window down and I scream, oh my God, hi, I love your TikTok. And he turns around and smiles. He's like, oh, thank you. And I was like, you're so fucking funny. And I didn't consider the fact that like the woman next to him was his mom, because as soon as I said,
because they were kissing on the mouth.
So fucking funny. His mom turns around and goes, have a good day. Have a good day. And I don't know, I panicked and just so like loudly,
Okay,
so that
you
she could
do.
hear me as I'm rolling the window up. I'm like, not her telling me to go away. And then my mother-in-law was like, no, she said have a good day. And I was like, no, I know, but like she was telling me go away.
Maybe it was your coarse and foul language. Maybe you offended her.
Absolutely, that I said the F word, God forbid, from traffic. But you're
It's
in LA,
wrong.
baby. That's what we
That's
do
wrong-
here.
that one word
We
is
ignore
wrong.
celebrities and we say the F word at stoplights. That's what we do. Anyway, let's circle back.
One of the things that I liked about DragCon that's very different from all the Christian stuff I used to go to was everyone seemed very much themselves. They seemed very sincere, no matter what they were presenting as. You know what I mean? Like, no matter if...
Like a freak.
No. Like, I certainly don't have the right to use that language. So, no. But, like, no matter if it was a dad who brought his child to meet you and he's, like, wearing his Oakland Raiders stuff and he just looked like a bro, and like no matter if it was him all the way up to like the different queens that were there to the guys that were across from us selling jock straps.
Hi.
And I would have thought, by the way, they would have groomed their asses better. Is that a thing? Do people like hairy asses?
Oh, Grant.
I was surprised by that.
Grant, you have so much to learn.
People like that though? That's a thing?
You have so much to learn.
Just tell
Not
me yes or
only-
no. I'm not Googling
Not
it.
only do we as queer people, not only do we get to live more authentically out loud, but we also get to live more authentically with our butts. Yeah. Some people are super into hair. Hair's beautiful.
Okay.
A hair is still a hair, even if it's
Well,
growing down there.
It was surprising. But my point is there were
Your idea of gay men's bodies is truly a stereotype from Sex and the City 1998.
First off, I just started Sex and the City. No spoilers. I'm halfway through episode 1. I'm a busy
Carrie's
person.
the worst.
can't.
Carrie's
Don't.
terrible. I'm so sorry. It doesn't get better.
Don't tell me. No spoilers. Truly, though,
Big
all jokes
dice.
aside, the
What?
thing that I loved was people were so sincere. And there was a part of going to all these Christian conferences, there was like an accepted amount of walling yourself off. Does that make sense? Every single one of us, if I had to guess, now obviously I can only speak from my experience, but I think I'm pretty spot on. Is I think all of us, we're so worried about being on the wrong team and believing the wrong thing, because Christianity's all religion really is all about who's in and who's out, right? It's a power game. So who's
You're
in and who's
in,
out.
or you're out.
Exactly. And so we're worried that we're going to believe the wrong thing, say the wrong thing. And so when you show up to one of those places, everyone has a part of themselves walled off. It's just the way that it is. And
Would you say it's like the walls of Jericho and you were just hoping they'd come tumbling down?
I'm not familiar with that. What is that from?
Joshua fought the Battle of Jericho.
And so like DragCon was not that. I didn't feel like I had to pretend I was something that I wasn't. I didn't feel like I had to wall off a part of myself. Like I could just go and experience it, and I could just meet people where they were and they could meet me where I am. And that was not how the church was. And that was not how those Christian conferences were.
What? It
You know-
wasn't?
Listen, someone in the comments talked about
Uh-oh.
going to a youth conference in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, which
Been
is
there.
which is what we used to do. It's where my wife and I actually started dating, Gatlinburg, Tennessee, on a youth trip. But they talked about it.
What did you do on the bus on the way back? You have to say.
What do you mean? No.
Angela, we're so horny. I mean, obviously now that you're out of the church, it's a lot easier to know how you feel about my lifestyle choices. Okay. But when you were a pastor, no matter how supportive you were to me as a human being, because you always have been, there have been bumps in the road. I remember I shared a documentary with you, and I was like, I think it makes a lot of good points that like homosexuality isn't actually in the Bible. I think it's, and you said, I watched it and I've tried so hard. And we had this long conversation where you said you've prayed about it, you've read books, you more than anyone, you want to believe that it's not wrong, but it is wrong. And that was years ago. That was years and years ago.
or what, weeks. Had to be at least a few weeks ago.
At least a couple days.
Yeah.
But that was probably the last time I had talked to you directly about like your beliefs and like me being gay. Everything else was just kind of a, hey, do you want to come to the wedding? You know, like that. We just never directly talked about it. So then to have you in that world and having not really further kind of delved into those kind of feelings, I felt like 100 feet tall. I can't express to you how alone I have felt in our family my entire life, and just completely cut off from everyone my entire life. Just, I've always been othered by the people who are supposed to love me. And it was the first time that I lived fully, like you were saying earlier, fully and completely myself with a family member around. That has just never happened. And that was, it was, ugh, God, this sounds so gay. But
It's super. This is really gay. I'm really uncomfortable.
It is. I know, you're going to have to read the Bible.
Sports.
It's very healing. Just you being there was healing. It was super incredible. It also made me hate our sister a little more, because where the fuck was she? Amanda.
In those days, Drew, my love for you was just as deep. My affection for you was just as deep, but this disconnection that I had, I couldn't love you fully like you needed me to love you, because I couldn't love anyone fully. I couldn't love myself fully. I was this split human being. And honestly, like, for hope for people out there who have family members who they're disconnected from, and it's basically religious based, that divide is untenable. And they will either, unfortunately, they'll calcify into some awful, discordant human being, or
they'll die.
Okay, I was going to go the hopeful way. Or
so there's three options.
Or that separation, that pain, they'll have to do something about that pain. They'll either become more of an asshole, unfortunately, or they'll be like, I'm not going to live like this anymore. And I'm so grateful that I went through what I went through, because it made me address that pain. I mean, basically, it was just this realization that I had this gap, like, between who I wanted to be and who I thought I was. And I had all these false beliefs, and truly, it's just cognitive dissonance. And so that divide will cause pain in the people that you love, and they will either follow that pain to a place of becoming more entrenched in their awfulness.
Sorry, my dog was eating her butthole on the couch. She was having her own dissonance issues.
Or they'll face that pain and they'll make the right choice. And they'll say, I want to be a whole person. And so, like, those people in your life, my hope is that they face that pain, because they will. They have to face that pain one day. And I hope that they say, you know what, I actually want to be something else. And so, I've told you a million times off the podcast, but on the podcast, like, it's obviously I love you so much, and I'm so sorry for ever making you feel like I didn't. And I'm sorry that I couldn't love you the way you needed to be loved. And I had done it to myself. I had split myself, not in a fun way. And, that's what this experience has been. It's been trusting myself for the first time, and trusting the way I view the world, and going, you know what? I can actually say that this is good. I can see it's good, and I can call it good. You know what I mean? Like, whereas, again, in the Christian world, we'd always quote the end of the book of Judges, which, Drew, I don't need to tell you. You know what it says.
Oh my God, I love that one. Yeah.
And everyone did what was right in their own
hey,
eyes.
judges.
That's
what
how
y'all doing?
It ends with, like, isn't this the worst? Everyone decided what was good for themselves. And that's like a terrible, awful thing. And that's the way the church teaches you to think. And so getting away from that and being like, you know what? Curtis saved Drew's life. And I think Drew's probably saved Curtis's life in some way. And they're better together. They're more loving people. They're more whole people. They make people around them better because they're together. That's a good thing. Like, that's heaven on earth. Why the fuck would I say split that shit up? Like, how would that be helpful? That's good. I can see it with my own eyes. It's good. So,
you cried at our wedding.
I did. I was so upset.
You did.
My protest didn't work. So one day I was watching HBO Max. I was watching Hell's Box Office.
Oh, God, yes.
Which is what our pastor called it growing up. I was watching Hell's Box Office.
You know he doesn't exist anymore. That's kind of cool.
He's in here. He's in my heart.
Oh, you should get that removed.
Straight Darby. I was watching something on Hell's Box Office, and it just hit me. You know, like I'm watching like whatever, rated R movie. There's nudity. There's all kinds of Uncle Drew language. That's what we call it around here. And then I went, the kids watch HBO. Like the kids can get on any TV, any iPad, and they can get on all these streaming services. And I realized I hadn't locked any of them down. Like I hadn't created kid profiles. Like I was just like, go watch Netflix. And I had no idea what they were watching. So I did lock it down, but I really don't think anything's going on there yet. Max is really funny.
Your kids sound really mean.
They're mean, but I don't know if they're horny yet. Max,
that scares me.
Like when he wants to read a comic book,
sure.
Like he wanted to read Invincible. When he wanted to read it, he would not look at it until I had looked up to make sure there was no nudity in it. Huh. Like we've told him like, that's what I'm trying to keep from you at this moment, because it could like super fuck up your brain and you'll just be some like horny kid or whatever.
Tell him to come talk to Uncle Drew. I'll tell him horror stories.
I guess I've already told him enough horror stories, because truly...
About me?
He's more concerned. Well, he knows you, so you are a horror story. Like we went to go see Deadpool and Wolverine, and he must have asked me 30 times in the car on the way over here, you're sure there's no nudity? Like, I think he believes that the first time he sees a boob, he's going to explode. Which
maybe we swung too far the other way. Because now, are you making him afraid of boobies?
I don't know.
Grant, you just created an incel. Congratulations. You just gave birth to an incel. And listen, they have bright futures. They have bright futures. Yeah, at least for for a couple years, and then their future suddenly ends.
But I like, here's the thing as a parent. You know they're going to get to it. Like we talk about porn.
It's the internet.
You know they're going to get to it. I just don't want it to be a fire hose. That's all. I just don't want it to be an open fire hose like it was for us.
Right.
Think about our evolution of it. It started, we used to watch scrambled porn on cable. Mm-hmm. And we would look for the, it in between the lines. We'd be like, I think that's a nipple. I don't know if it's a male nipple or a female nipple, but
it didn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's a nipple.
It did not matter. It was amazing.
Did not matter.
Y'all don't know. Listen, Gen Z. Y'all don't know.
Gen Z doesn't know.
No, but I'm saying like they don't remember the scrambled TV because eventually the cable companies caught on and they turned into blue screens. And blue screens, you can't see a nipple on a blue screen, but you can see a nipple on a scrambled screen. Ugh. What a time. Do you remember when we had a sleepover? Oh, no, this is too dark. Oh, we'll dive into this another time.
A sleepover?
You remember when we had a sleepover with... And we stayed up all night watching scrambled porn on the TV.
I do remember that.
And we kept the volume like really low, and we were just constantly keeping it. And we spent hours trying to see a boob. And then eventually we did. And then Chad suddenly lost interest and went to sleep.
He was done.
Do you remember that though?
Oh, 100%.
We were like, I think that's a nipple. That's a nipple.
The best thing is, it was softcore pornography.
Oh, 100%.
Like it was like HBO or Cinemax or something.
Yeah.
And so we didn't even have a shot of seeing anything other than a nipple. But we didn't know that. I was like, I don't know. I think they're doing something there.
Yeah.
Not that I would have known what they were doing.
No.
But then I remember the first time I ever saw it I stayed at a friend's house. I won't say his name. Well, I'll cut it out.
Oh, is his brother dead? We should listen to at least one voicemail before we go.
Okay, let's do it.
Hello, love both of you, but my question is for Grant.
Boo.
So, I often hear bigoted questions or accusations about how being gay is not accepted or approved by various religions. Grant, as someone within the religion, what do you think is the most effective way to respond to that? Because it seems like everything I've ever tried doesn't really land. So I'd love to hear that. My name is Nathan from Cleveland, Ohio. Love the new podcast.
And he just disappears. I think his internet cut out.
In
Nathan
Cleveland
from Cleveland.
somewhere.
Hi, Nathan. Thank you.
If someone else is in Cleveland, can you check on Nathan? Can you make sure Nathan's okay?
Yeah, he suddenly disappeared. I think he fell asleep. He got tired and said it was stupid and went to bed.
Let me make sure I understand, Drew, so help me out. He was asking when he meets people who are opposed to homosexuality because of their religion, what's a good way to respond? Is that what he's saying?
I think so, yes. Don't.
So,
Cut and run, baby.
or convert. Just listen to him.
They got camps now. Did you see that our last episode on YouTube had like
The Trevor Project?
A Trevor Project, like anti-conversion therapy little thing pop up?
Yeah.
We've made it.
What causes that?
Homophobia. We had said the words conversion therapy. So I think they just have like a...
Oh.
I'm sure they have keywords.
Let's do
when
it.
you
Conversion
hear it.
therapy. Conversion
therapy.
Save
Trevor
turtles.
Project.
Save the turtles. Save the turtles.
Conversion therapy.
I wonder, there's got to be one for that. Stand up to cancer.
You want to
Fight
be
cancer.
straight,
Cancer
little
sucks.
boy?
You want to be a turtle, little boy? That's what conservationists say. Honestly, man, Nathan, thank you for your question. The reason people believe those things, they're not based in, like, it's not a logical argument. You'll never be able to argue someone out of that position. There is a story they're believing is true. There's a story that they've been told that this is wrong, and then they just fill in the blanks of that story. And so for example, like when we were growing up, the reason America has problems is because gay people. The reason
specifically.
The family unit is falling apart, gay people. So there was a story we were told. So then when we go to the scriptures, we bring that story with us. Everyone does when they go to there. Everyone is bringing presuppositions there. That's a powerful presupposition. And so we bring that into the scriptures. And so it's not some logical thing that they've come to for the most part. It's a story they've believed to be true. The only way to combat that story is to give them a better story. And so I'll tell you, for me, what helped reach me in that fucked up belief, it's Drew and Curtis. It's relationships with people. Okay, it's mostly Curtis. Don't make that face. It's mostly Curtis. It's relationships with people who I would see as like kind and good. And I saw their relationship was something good and wonderful. And so I started to go, that seems good. But I've always thought that's bad. And so you can't combat it with an argument. You need to combat it with a better story. And that's if you want to. By the way, you don't owe anyone anything.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, show them a better story. The story they're telling you is that gay bad, gay people make bad. Like that's the story they're being told. This is wrong. It's unnatural. Blah blah blah. Show them a better story. And what I mean by that is, again, invite if you want to. You don't owe them a damn thing. But if they mean something to you and you can be safe, invite them into your life. Show them a better story. Drew's wedding was a huge moment for me because it was a better story than I've been told. Like I saw a community. That was the other thing. We had a community of people who loved each other. Drew and Curtis love each other. Drew and Curtis have built a beautiful life together. That's a better story than the story I was told. The story I was told that they're wrong together. They're bad together. All gay people are they should be celibate, whatever.
We
all that
caused
shit.
9/11.
You may have, but that's a shitty story. And so being in relationship with Drew and Curtis, honestly, that's what started to turn the tide for me. I mean, years and years ago, but the wedding moment was a moment where I was like, there's no going back here. I think the Bible's wrong, or my interpretation of the Bible is wrong, because I'm looking at this and thinking this is good. And again, this goes back to the last episode as well, Nathan. I'll say this is that, again, what religion teaches you, specifically evangelical Christianity, don't trust yourself. So don't trust what you see as good. So this will require a hell of a lot of patience from you. And again, I want to say, you don't owe them anything. You don't owe anyone anything. You don't have to justify your existence. You don't have to justify your decisions. You don't owe them anything. But if you invite them into your life for whatever reason, and you're motivated to do so, you will show them a better story. If you're as wonderful as everyone I've ever met from Cleveland, you'll show them a better story. And that's how you reach people. The storytelling. That's what we all want. That's what reaches everybody. There is no argument I can give you because it doesn't matter. Because they're telling a story when they read the scriptures. They're telling a story when they repeat the shit they've heard.
So sorry to interrupt. Gay guy here. I completely agree with my brother. He's saying so many right things, but also Nathan. And as Grant said, if you can do it safely, and that doesn't just mean that there is a physical threat to your safety from these people. It's also
that's all I meant. If they have bears or like guns.
Guns. No, but
Big
it's
dogs.
also an emotional pain that you put yourself through. Like, I'm so happy to be where I am now today with my brother. And I'm so happy to hear that my relationship with Curtis and our wedding really helped bring us to this point. I think that's great. And I think that's wonderful. However, it was really hard on me. You know, it was really hard to.
I've already apologized once this podcast, so I'm just letting you know.
I know.
Whatever
No.
you're about to say.
I'm getting, but
I've already
I am getting
apologized
ready.
I'm just
Maybe you'll
letting you know.
To a second one. Maybe.
No, I won't.
move
I'm
to
just
a
saying.
third
I've
even.
already done it. You can go back and listen. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'd like it in writing. Absolutely, you can do that. And I think that's wonderful if you're willing to put in so much more emotional effort than they actually deserve from you. But
That's true. That's
It
100% true.
really hard. And I feel like as a queer person raised to believe that you fundamentally are wrong. I see this in a lot of like other queer people, that we're people pleasers. We are desperate to show that we're enough just because we've been told by everyone in our lives, told by people who are supposed to love us unconditionally, that we are not good enough, that we are disgusting just for being alive. And so we're just constantly looking to prove ourselves, and it is so draining. And you don't see that, unfortunately, until you finally start to love yourself enough to like, oh wait, I'm going to actually show myself some respect here and step away. Or something devastating happens, which still hope that happens with our dad soon. But, you know, just really check in with yourself. Don't put them before yourself, because they are definitely not putting you before them. They're not even putting you before their made up little sky daddy. Like, you are so low on the list. Oh, I took it to a really dark place.
It needs to come from a place of strength, you know? I don't have... Is that a song, or are you just singing?
It's a Steve Green song. It's called Strength by Steve Green.
Oh.
That was the chorus and the bridge.
My experience is obviously very different. What I just recently went through, I have been...
Oh, did the church treat you bad, Grant? Oh. No, I feel really bad about what the church did to you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's funny. Yeah. It's funny.
You have to laugh. You have to laugh. My mother-in-law just left.
You love your
She does
mother-in-law?
listen to this. She does listen to this. I wish she did.
You love her?
Diane. Yes. Can I tell you? I love her. The last two episodes
a very nice
that
lady.
I recorded, she's so nice. And she's also a bitch. I do want to say that.
Yeah, you're kind of a bitch.
No, she
I switched so quick
unlocked,
with no information.
There was some sort of like moment where she goes, oh, when Drew's in drag, Drew's kind of mean. I wonder if I could relate to him in that way. And she did. And we all positively reinforced her kind of being mean to me with laughter, because I thought it would be a one-off thing. And now she's very good at it. Nothing humbles you more than your mother-in-law just reading you fucking down. And what can you say back to that? She's your mother-in-law. If I'm going to get any money out of this, I have to continue to play along. And unfortunately, she's really... Anyway, so these last two episodes that we recorded were down here in the living room. And so I was like, hey, we're going to be recording down here if you want to go to another room or whatever. And she was like, no, I'm fine down here. So she listened to my side of both of our podcasts, the last two episodes.
So she listened to arguably the worst side of our podcast. The second
That's something
tier.
she would say. That's something she would say.
Maybe she's not so bitchy after all.
After the first one, I was like, well, I hope that wasn't like super weird for you. And she was like, no, it's really interesting. I can't wait to hear the other half. And I was like, that's a really weird way to listen to podcasts, Diane. That's super weird.
You know what we should do? Well, she's listening to this, so it's not going to be a surprise. We should send her the isolated audio of just my side for those two episodes.
Yes.
And just say, hey, well, I know you already heard the other side. You don't need to hear that side again. Here you go. Enjoy this side.
She would love it. She would absolutely
love it. She would.
Can I tell you something so wholesome, so beautiful?
Yeah. Can I tell you, I've been watching nothing but Hope Core videos on TikTok lately because I've been really feeling down lately. And I cried this morning watching
what?
just soldiers reuniting with their families. I watched a million of those, and it just made me cry. That doesn't make you cry?
No,
When
but
like
you know
little
what
kids
I think
jump in their father's arms?
No, but you know what did bring a tear to my eye today? I follow this brother and sister on TikTok, and the brother has Downs, and he is like 78 years old. Like he's a little old man, but he's also very childlike, and I find it so beautiful and so charming. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I'm loving
The
it.
video today was literally just him coming to sit down to eat the meal that his sister had prepared, and it was just pizza, and then his drink was in a pumpkin cup. And he pulls up, he walks up to the table, and he goes, pizza. And then like a little old man, he kind of struggles with give me pizza. He kind of struggles with the chair, and it's really cute. And then he sits down, and then he sees the Halloween cup, and he goes, Halloween cup. And then he gets really emotional because he's so excited. So he just starts going, yeah, because he realizes it's just around the corner. She goes, yeah, it's just around the corner. He goes, Halloween. Like it just that brought a tear to my eye. That made me cry.
Oh,
anyway, what were we saying before that?
There's a lot of hopecore videos with adults with Down syndrome. Those make me cry every time as well. Now, if you could get a soldier with Down syndrome who would reunite with his child
in a wheelchair,
a wheelchair, done, absolutely done, and put Sarah McLachlan over it.
Add a little Halloween. I'm
and then
sobbing.
Some guy shows up and he's like, "Hey, can I have $1?" And they're like, "Oh, sure." And they give him $1, and then he goes, "Here's $1,000."
No,
I was just trying to find a nice person.
Have I talked about this on here or only on IMHO? I hate those videos. I hate them so much.
Oh, why? Because they're walking up with their camera like this, and they're like, "Excuse me."
I know that they need to make the videos to raise the money to give away. So I know it's a necessary evil, but there's something so exploitative.
Giving money to people who need it is evil.
No, it's not evil. It's yucky yuck to have someone walk up to someone in like a Publix with their camera right here, like, "Hey man, here's a test. I'm going to put you to a test. I'm going to pretend to be you, someone who needs money. And
gross.
How would you treat me?
I can't pretend for long.
Me? You treated me bad. You don't get it. You know, like, ugh. Or it gets even worse when they go back. They'll go back the next day, or they'll find the person again, and they'll like reunite with the person again, and they'll be like, "Hey, you remember when I gave you $1,000? Can I have that $1,000 back? I've already tested them." Oh, Grant.
I haven't seen one of those.
Grant. And sure, do they end up giving them a car? Yeah. And is that beautiful?
So many cars.
Of course.
Sure.
But to test them twice,
it's not fair. The only person who has the right to test you that many times is God, because he needs to know that you love him. He needs to know that you love him. And if you don't, you'll burn, you fag. You'll burn because he loves you so much.
Before I forget this. So wholesome. So my mother-in-law was here for 3 weeks.
That was a long digression.
Yeah, that was your fault. And
it's our podcast.
So last night we decided to have one final like ice cream out moment. So we went to Salt and Straw, which is incredible, and I'll have to bring you to it. You would love it. They have,
I can't eat dairy, but okay.
They have vegan options. I ate a vegan option. I had banana.
I can't eat vegans. I can, so I'll do vegans. You brought us there. You brought us there last time when I was there.
Oh, it's good. Okay, well then anyway, we took his mom, and we're sitting outside, and it's a beautiful night, and we're eating our ice cream, and we're watching all the people who are standing in line, who are still waiting, going, "It's good." And his mom goes, "All right, what was everyone's favorite moment from the trip?" And she meant like in the last 3 weeks, what did we like the most? And I was like, well, what happened? And one thing about my mother-in-law, and I'm not a doctor.
What a great mom thing to say, by the way.
Right? I did watch the first 3 seasons of Grey's Anatomy, so I feel like I understand it.
I've watched a lot of House too.
She's a brilliant, sweet, wonderful, loving woman, and she's got just a tinge of autism, and so she can be very direct and very literal.
Just the right amount.
The right amount.
Really.
The amount that makes her very good in the pharmaceutical industry. I'll say that much.
But she kills it.
She loves a detail. Anyway, I was like, well, what did we do? And she goes, well, I arrived on a Thursday, and she went through every single day of the last 3 weeks. And I was
love
just like,
that.
wow, we had so much fun. And then she'd say the next day and I'd go, wow, that sounds like a lot of fun. It was so sweet. Sorry, that was a boring story.
Wait, did she pick up on you doing the, wow, that's so much fun?
No, I genuinely was doing that. And then she laughed at me halfway through. And she's like, they can't all be fun, Drew. And I was like,
I love it. Okay, so
I think y'all would get along really, really, really well.
I really enjoyed her the dinner we had.
I know,
think
but you didn't get
she's
to
really sweet.
You didn't get to really delve into her.
We
during
did
the
get
dinner.
we got blackout drunk. I can't wait to delve into your mother-in-law. Thank you for saying it that way. Speaking of autism,
you know that our mother-in-laws have the same name.
cool. We should keep this in.
Great. I had always described you as like a really loving, kind, supportive brother. And people would say, you know, I would say like, oh, well, I'm a drag queen. My brother's a preacher. And I'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry. That must be so hard. And my response
I would say
was
the same
always
thing.
like,
I'd be like, I'm a preacher. My brother's a drag queen. They're like, oh, that must be so hard.
to be fair, that makes sense to me. And I support that statement. I'm not easy. No, but I would always say like, no, it's not actually in the grand scheme of things, because number one, I had set the bar very low, but also you have, despite that churchy side of you, you were always loving and supportive and kind. And it was that disconnect, you know, the two sides of you. And I could see the churchy side when I would go to church. Whenever I'd come visit you, I would go to your church because I just really wanted to, in some weird fucked up way, show my support to you of like, your lifestyle is an embarrassment. It's an abomination. It's gross. But I'm so proud of you, like that you're on stage.
You would always say
this
that.
Like cunty performance. Like you'd eat it up, baby.
I would eat it up, and I was the cunt. I was the biggest cunt in the room.
Be a big
just
cunt.
Cunting. And I was
I don't know about that. Your church was filled with
hate
cunts.
this. She's gonna hate
Your
this.
church was filled with cunts. She can't. It's homophobic. Anyway,
There's some nice people.
But it was really hard to separate that churchy person from who I think we're now learning you actually are, which is like a kind, supportive, loving, caring person. And so I think when you see those people out and they're being awful to you, as someone who lived that life, I continue to. I just want you to
be
know,
awful to me in public. You continue every time we're in public. You're just
churchy people
so rude.
are awful to me in public. I'm saying, as someone who has loved being mistreated for 40 years, it's just no, Grant.
But didn't you deserve it a little bit? I mean, what were you wearing? When they mistreated you, what were you wearing?
You know what I was wearing? I was wearing my Blue Ranger t-shirt.
Exactly.
That's the gay Ranger. I did get a little high the other night, and he was live on Instagram, and I went into his live, and I said, you look so much hotter or something. Like I was trying to be flirty, and I ended up just being kind of insulting. And I was like, huh. And I had to back out of that real quick. Anyway.
That's cool. Is that why you don't have
everyone
Instagram
to know
anymore?
I will
That's
not
why his Instagram account is shut down.
The Blue Ranger. Yeah, I did.
We'll
too much.
bring it back.
Anyway, no, but like when you see those people out there and they treat you and your children like garbage, just remember, Grant, on the inside, there's a little version of them that's crying.
Just a tiny little...
a tiny little kind person is crying in there. They're being held back.
There's so much meanness in here.
You could say they've been nailed to a cross.
So it's like, it's like Inside Out, but there's just a sadness and a bunch of angers, just kicking the shit out of sadness all the time. Is that what's going on?
Not kicking them, hitting them with Bibles.
Hitting them with Bibles. So but honestly, like, it made me think about just how rude, like rudeness is built into evangelical Christianity. I'm not saying it's built into all of Christianity or really all belief systems. It's not. I mean, truly, the teachings of the scriptures, if you honestly held to them, would teach you to be humble and not be rude. In fact, 1 Corinthians 13, the definition of love, it says...
Thank God. You're going to say it.
Love is not rude. It says that. Love's not rude. It doesn't insist on its own way. So, like, it's always thinking about others. It's always putting others first. Now, obviously, people don't live like that. But in evangelical Christianity...
Not the cool people.
Well, there's a rudeness that's built in, and I was trying to figure out why is that. And I think I figured out what I believe it to be.
You solved it.
I did. I solved it. Believing. Should we put this behind a paywall, like on Patreon? He's about to say something.
This is going to fix so many families. $5
If you
a
want to
month.
hear it, $5 a month,
Yeah.
become a messy queen and you can hear it. So believing yourself to be like a savior of somebody, you'll become rude. You will insist on your own way. Because why? Because once you view yourself as a savior, that they're the problem and you're the solution, now the ends will always justify the means. Because I'm going to save you. Like, have you seen videos of people like trying to jump off a bridge and like a cop like grabs them right before they jump off the bridge and like pulls them
Well, if
back
it's
on the
a cop,
bridge?
they probably would shoot them off the bridge. But I'm sorry, what?
It was a
think I
white
lost
guy
the-
in my videos. It was a white guy trying to jump.
Then
Yeah,
yes, I have. Yes.
They're like, taxpayer, wait, come back. So,
we'll
so-
unpack this later.
but like he grabs him and pulls him, and obviously the person's
Right.
not like, thank you. They're like, no. Well, it would be really rude if you just walked up to someone on the street, grabbed them, and said, I'm going to take you somewhere you don't want to be. I believe that's a crime. But in those videos, he's a hero. Why? Because he was saving them. The ends justified the means. It would be rude to do that to someone unless you're saving their life.
You're actually saving their life, right?
And so that's what evangelical Christianity teaches us is like, I'm saving people. Like, you're in trouble. You're the problem. You don't even realize it, but you are the problem. I have the solution. I'll save you. And so the ends justify the means, and we become rude assholes. Like, we used to talk about evangelism. That's what we called it, when we would go out and try to proselytize people and tell them about Jesus. Even if they didn't want to be told about Jesus, we were going to tell them. And so I remember this moment, and we celebrated it, by the way. I remember this moment. This is so embarrassing. I was a teenager, and man, I was all about the J-man. I was all about Jesus, Team
You were
Jesus.
super into him. It was kind of gay.
Trying honestly a little bit trying to save as many people as possible. I'm in Barnes and Noble. There is a woman. Oh, this is so embarrassing. There's a woman, like middle-aged woman, and she's in the astronomy section, which is right next to the Christianity
You mean
section.
astrology?
Astrology, correct.
She's learning about space. Got it.
Which is fucked up.
I know, it is
Well,
fucked up.
really, no, Drew, you're missing the point. In evangelical Christianity, women shouldn't learn. You jumped
Yeah.
too far ahead. What I was saying was like, how dare you cover your head? So anyway,
Yeah,
she's
why
in
was she in that
she's in the
bookstore?
astrology
You can't
section.
read.
Sorry. Which is right next to the Christianity section. And so
They do that
I'm
for a
on-
laugh.
so I'm in the Christianity section. I'm trying to figure out how can I live my best life now and what will be my purpose driving my life. And those are deep cuts, by the way. And so I'm looking at all these Christian books and I see her and I'm like, now's my chance. Oh, this is so embarrassing.
Can I just tell you, just the intro to this, I am so uncomfortable. My legs
you
are
should've-
twisted and I'm so uncomfortable.
You should have lived it. Oh, this is
Okay,
this is
just
this
say
is
it.
one of my
Just
most
say it,
embarrassing
Grant.
stories.
Just say it. Jesus Christ. I'm so nervous.
Are you praying? So I went up to her and I was like, what are you looking at? She said that she was looking at these books for her daughter because her daughter's really gotten into astrology lately. And I said, well, oh, God.
Oh
So-
my God, what?
I said, you know, you can try to learn about the stars or you can learn about the person who made those stars.
Can you,
What
okay,
a-
okay.
Banger of a line.
Let's flip it. And you are your
Banger.
current age. You are a
Okay.
father of 4. You are 40. A teenager
30.
walks up to you
You're 40.
in a Barnes and Noble and says, you may want to learn about stars, but I think you'd benefit more if you learned about the guy who made them. What would you do? What did she do?
Oh, God.
Does she combust?
Looking back on it, no, listen, looking back on it, she was trying to be kind to me. Because I was a kid.
Right.
You know, like
You were a kid, and we lived in a place where that honestly was kind of normal.
I mean, it's literally down the street from the mega church. You know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah.
could see the crosses of the mega church from that Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, no, thank you. Like, she immediately knew what was happening. And
Yeah.
so she was like, oh, no, thank you. And I did not relent. because we were literally trained not to. So there was something called Evangelism Explosion, and there was another thing that was called Faith, and the Faith was an acronym. F stands for forgiveness, A stands for available, whatever. And they literally trained you how to manipulate conversations to talk about Jesus with people. And so you were not to take no for an answer. ABC, always be closing. Always be closing for heaven, brother.
Did you always have tracts with you that looked like real money? Did she be like, well, here's a 20, you whore? And then she'd read it. I
literally did start carrying tracts at one point in my life. Yeah. It was fucked up. So she's like, oh, no, thank you. And I was like, but I don't remember what I said. But I'm like pushing back on her. Like, no, you're going to fucking talk to me about Jesus. Like, I'm like pushing back on her. She literally, she's pissed. And she goes like, if you don't get out of my face, I'm going to call the police. Like, you're harassing me. And I was like, no, but God loves you. And she's like, now she's like about to start yelling. And I was like, okay, retreat. I go outside. I go to my car. Oh, God. I go to my car. I burst into tears, right? Like,
That's
burst
the best part
into
of the story.
tears. Yeah, like, I'm so embarrassed. But I'm so embarrassed. But then there's part of me that feels like I failed, you know? Like, I didn't save her. I didn't save her daughter. Like, something's wrong here. So it's Wednesday. So I'm going to church that night. So I go talk to my youth pastor and I tell him what happened. Drew, do you know what his response was? I bet you do. You want to guess what his response was?
That we need to pray for her?
No, you're missing it, but you're going to know it as soon as I say it. And he went, you've been persecuted. You've been persecuted for Jesus. And if you stand up for Jesus in this sinful and adulterous generation, then he will stand up for you. What a wonderful... He brought me on stage that night.
You're a martyr.
Had me tell the story to hundreds of students, and they applauded me like I had scored the winning touchdown. Like, we've been persecuted. And that's the thing. Christians still...
What? Sorry.
Touchdown.
Touchdown. Sorry, I use language you didn't understand, and sometimes you use language I don't get.
Yeah, touchdown comes from ballroom culture. So I don't know. I had nothing. So that still happens today, and you see that in the religious right as it's in the Republican Party as well. Like, they want to be the victim. I'm being persecuted. And the idea is I'm being persecuted for my beliefs. No, you're not. You're being persecuted for being an asshole. That's what you're being. In fact, if you encounter somebody like that, use scripture against them. Because what 1 Corinthians says in 13 before it talks about love is it says, if I speak with the wisdom of angels. So literally, like, I have the greatest knowledge ever. I'm giving you gold, but I have not love, then I am like a noisy cymbal, is what it's saying. So, like, it's saying, like, hey, look, you may be telling someone the truth, but if you don't do it in love, and then it defines love. If you're rude, if you're arrogant, if you're insisting on your own way, which is the only way I knew how to talk about Jesus, then it's painful to people. It's awful, it's hateful, and it's painful to people. But that's what we were trained to do. I would go out every Tuesday night when I was in high school and knock on doors to tell people about Jesus while they tried to eat
You did?
Yeah, dude.
What?
Yes. We would train to have these conversations where we would manipulate people to talk about Jesus, and then we would go to their house and we would have questions we would ask. Like really normal questions like this. Hey, Drew.
What do you mean we? Who are you talking about?
At the church, we would have this meeting, and so it would be me and like two other students and then an adult, and they would train us to have these conversations with people, and we would have mock conversations back and forth, and like truly to learn how to manipulate conversations to get to talk to people about things they want to talk about. And then we would go to their neighborhoods and we would like knock on their doors and we would be like, can we just pray with you? And ultimately we're trying to manipulate them, and we would ask these questions. Like, this is one of the main questions you would ask. One of the first questions you'd ask. Hey, if you were to die tonight, do you know for a fact that you would go to heaven? That was a question we would ask.
And I think that's a really great question for a child to ask a stranger. I love that, actually.
I was like 13 and I'm talking to adults. Hey, lady, listen, I've lived a lot of life. at 13. And oh shoot, it's TGIF. I gotta go. TGIF is on. I'm missing Family Matters.
We hadn't even gone through puberty yet at 13, so I think it's appropriate that we talk about.
We still had we had 10 more years before we would hit puberty.
We really did.